So yeah, I thought I'd let you know. I haven't told. I just told my parents, but I figured I'd let you know. And if you want to tell Donna, that's grand. Just don't let anyone else know, because we're kind of keeping it quiet. But
Yeah, this is a live broadcast.
fuck.
And this will be the one time we have a viewer.
How's it going, guys? Welcome to another episode of Mattie and Liamo. Today we're going to be talking about that little controversial film that came out, not in the cinema, but online. The Interview, starring Seth Rogen and James Franco. So, here we go.
This is a film that, when I heard about, I fucking loved the idea of it. I love the actors, I love the people behind it, and I love like the plot. It sounded decent.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people like, oh, that sounds so stupid. And especially when it came out about people being pissed off about the movie, you had people then saying, oh, they only did this to piss people off. And it's controversial for controversial's sake.
Yeah.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is, I don't know. But it still sounded great to me. And then when there was all this talk about it getting banned and it's not going to be released because certain people were upset, I was like, fuck that. It doesn't matter if it's a crap film. I'm going to see this in the pictures. I would pay money to see this, even if I see a trailer for it that makes it look crap. I'll see it out of protest. Otherwise, the terrorists win.
Exactly. We can't have that.
What's the latest anyway? Where do we stand about the official release? Is it happening? Is it not happening?
As far as I know, the official release in the US has just been cinema in select cinemas and online, and Canada also got it online. Now, if you live elsewhere in the world, like myself and Liam, there are other sources that you can use to watch said film. I use legal means. Liam, did you use legal means?
I don't know. It's kind of a grey area. When somebody hands you a USB and says, "Watch this," where do I stand?
I don't think you're culpable in that situation. I just watched the stream online, which I assumed was perfectly legal. I found it on Reddit. That's a reputable source of documentation and whatnot. So yeah, my thoughts on the film before it came out were, it sounds like a great idea. I love Seth Rogen in films. I think he's fucking hilarious.
Yep.
James Franco, I mean, he's hit and miss for me, but I liked him in obviously Pineapple Express. I thought he was brilliant in that.
Yes.
And This Is the End, the one they did where they were playing themselves. So I was very excited for the film. But I also thought about the concept of the movie, going to kill Kim Jong-un. And I could understand why the North Koreans would be angry. If it was a regular country, okay, you could say, I kind of get where they're coming from. If they made a movie about two people going to murder Barack Obama, I mean, there'd be fucking outrage. But then you think about all the movies they made threatening the US and whatever, so it's not important.
Yeah.
So I was really excited to see it, and I did think that banning the movie was kind of ridiculous. Like you said, you're just letting the terrorists win. But at the same time, I could see where Sony were coming from, because if they just showed the movie and didn't pay any attention to it and something happened, they'd be getting called out for, how could you do this? You knew there's good threats made, blah, blah, blah. So I could kind of see where they're coming from, but at the same time, I kind of thought, no, just beef up security of the cinemas, do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
we can't fucking cower away from stuff like this.
No.
Do you know what I mean? That's what's great about fucking Western societies. We have freedom of speech, and we're very close to losing it. I mean, shit like this is happening more and more often these days, where people are watching their P's and Q's just because certain people don't like what we're saying.
Fuck those people. That's what I say.
Fuck them. Right in their fucking a-holes.
Yes. So what did you think of the film?
That's a great question. I liked it. I was watching it, right? And I'm sitting there looking at it, and I know for a fact people are going to tear strips off it. Now, I haven't seen anything yet on Facebook. I assume over the next week or so, people are going to start coming out of the woodwork. Yeah, I saw it. It's shit. North Korea warned me not to see this movie. I should have listened to them. Shit like that.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm saying, yeah, I know why people are going to criticize it. I was laughing.
Oh, yeah.
I laughed my fucking arse off a bunch of times. And that's all that matters.
My thing about it was that I've seen already reviewers, like movie critics, which I don't trust movie critics anyway. No. I tend to avoid whatever they say, because it's all about personal taste. But there has been people saying it's not that funny, blah, blah, blah. I say I was laughing for 75 to 80% of that film. And there was a couple of moments where I was like, this is kind of, there was jokes that I was like, yeah, not really that funny.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But it's still a good movie, and I probably will buy the Blu-ray when it comes out, because I'd watch it again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, if I was giving it a rating, I'd give it like an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10?
Yeah, a couple of bits I didn't like, a couple of bits I did like.
Yeah, there's a couple of
So
bits I didn't like. There was some of the humour was way too crass, and
yeah,
the gaudy kind of violence in it. I always find gaudy violence in a comedy sort of shifts the tone.
mm,
One bit of gaudy violence is fine in a comedy. Like one kind of holy shit, I can't believe I just saw that. But when it
yeah,
keeps happening, when there's a whole scene full of stuff like it, it just becomes white noise then, you know. But that's the
yeah.
only negative. I thought fucking James Franco was amazing.
Outstanding,
What's great about
hilarious.
him is like when he started out, when he was doing like Spider-Man or what have you, he was a very serious actor. Who had you got? You had Hayden Christensen, right? And you had James Franco, very similar ages, similar type of actor. And James Franco, you just knew he was up here, and you knew he was going places. But I never in a million years would have predicted where he went. That whole kind of
No.
Seth Rogen route. But
Yeah,
and he
he
seems to
can
be
pull
enjoying
off
himself.
serious.
He can.
He pulls off serious and funny
Does.
together. Do you know what I mean? So it's good.
He does. But that's what was great about the interview was he went completely the other end of the scale. He was having
Ridiculous,
fun with the role. Like whereas Seth Rogen was a lot more toned down than normal. He was essentially the straight man.
There was two things I particularly enjoyed about it was the portrayal of Kim Jong-un. I thought was
Yeah.
hilarious. Do you know what I mean? As this margarita-loving Katy Perry fan, I thought
Yeah.
that was genius. Because if you're gonna take the piss out of something, you have to really just fucking lampoon the shit out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I thought they nailed that. They made him ridiculous. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also, I love the Eminem bit at the start had me in tears. I was actually nearly crying laughing at that. I was like, that's genius. So subtle, do you know what I mean? It's just like,
Yeah. What was great about that was like you
Whatever.
didn't know. I didn't know he was in.
Yeah.
I don't think I seen him in any trailers or anything like that.
No idea whatsoever.
Class.
Also, the Joseph Gordon-Levitt part I thought was brilliant too.
Here's the thing, right? I don't know if we got a different fucking version or something. Was that literally 2 seconds long?
Yeah, no, 2 seconds, yeah, but I thought it was
That's
gas.
alright.
Yeah.
Because I noticed when I was watching it, there was a few
Yeah.
bits that weren't in it that I had seen in the trailers. Like, do you remember the bit with Rob
Yeah,
Lowe when
they apparently take months.
and
Yeah,
he's revealing that he's bald?
yeah,
In the trailer, there's a big
Yeah.
build up to that. He's going on about what it's like to be an actor, and you're, as an actor, you're basically living a lie, you're telling lies. And he says, well, this is a lie. None of that was in the film. He just went straight to the bit where he takes his wig off.
really.
Yeah. So that's where I was thinking, maybe, did I miss a whole scene involving Gordon-Levitt and fucking puppies?
No, but I just thought that it was gas for.
It was. It was
Like,
beautiful.
I guess Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and it's just that bit. I was like, gas. And there was one last thing that I was crying laughing.
Yeah.
You know when Seth Rogen's on the train in China,
Yeah.
and he's talking to them, and then flips, he starts drinking it all, and then he's laughing, and they're doing impressions of his laugh, and they're like, they're all doing the laugh. I don't know why that bit got me, and I was crying laughing. So I was like, what are you laughing at? I was like, did you see them doing his laugh? And she's like, no. And I was like, oh, it was brilliant. And it's just like, it's my favourite part of the whole film, I think. It's just that little 2-second clip, like, brilliant.
Yeah.
I think now what's happening is with this movie is it's becoming a big, obviously it was already a big thing,
Yeah.
but it's becoming an even bigger thing now where it's like, you know, everyone is talking about this, and our mutual friend, Mr. Kevin Shields, is convinced this was all a marketing stunt, a marketing ploy.
I've heard this theory, and I'm not, completely going to shut it down. It does a
I'm
strong
not
possibility
convinced.
that was what happened, but
I'm shutting that shit down. I'm
Yeah.
calling it now.
wow.
The reason why I'm calling it is because they released it online and they released it, do you know what I mean, in the cinema at the same time. If you're gonna have like Kev had the same thing about the movie Sex Tape and the iCloud leak that kind of happened at the same time as the movie coming out. He thought that was kind of connected.
Yeah.
That movie came out in the cinema or whatever. Fucking terrible movie. I don't think they would get all of this like fucking support and this publicity for the movie just to, because they only made like $1 million in the cinema. I don't know how much they made video on demand, like online, but they're only releasing it in Canada and the US legally, and I'm assuming they only charge like $5 to watch it.
Right.
So they're not making as much money as they would make if they just put it out into the cinemas worldwide after this big publicity stunt. So I don't think it's a publicity stunt because of that reason. If they had just said, "Oh, we're cancelling the movie," but then released it worldwide in the cinemas, I'd say, yeah, it's an obvious publicity thing. But
Yeah, that's a good theory. I think another thing that sort of shuts down the theory as well is if the film was worse, if it was like, and I've seen good actors like that in shitty comedies. If it was that bad, I'd say yeah. You can see how the money men said, right, this is going to be a big loser for us. How do we boost sales? How do we get people to watch this? And come up with that whole fucking thing, like. But it wasn't that bad. This film was going to make money. I mean, let's face it, fuck, Rogan and Franco fans were going to go and see it, regardless. And that's who it's for. It's for their fans, not for fucking anybody else. If you don't like Seth Rogen, of course you're not going to fucking like this. And that's, I keep seeing people complain about this film, well, it looks stupid. Seth Rogen's a prick anyway. Of course you're not going to fucking like it if you don't like Seth Rogen.
Exactly. And who doesn't like Seth Rogen? I'm sorry, the man is hilarious. Just looking at him makes me laugh sometimes. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's a funny guy.
He's a legend.
Even the movie The Green Hornet, which, I mean, I've met very few people who've seen that movie, let alone enjoyed it. But I enjoyed that movie just because he's in it and he made me laugh through it the whole thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's just something about his delivery that I think is great.
Well, look, I think it's a great film. It's flawed, of course it's flawed. But I would fucking love to see a sequel.
So I'm gonna go back and revise my out of 10 score because I feel like 8 out of 10 is giving it a bit too much. I'm gonna drop it down to 7. I'm gonna drop it down to 7.
7.
Dropping it down.
No, 7 is still a solid score.
When I'm talking like 9 and 10 out of 10, like 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, I'm talking stuff like The Life of Brian.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like that kind of level of comedy. And 8, I would reserve for stuff like the South Park movie. Do you know what I mean? I think that's genius and stuff like that. The interview, I'm going to just drop it down to 7. Just take it down a peg. Just a little bit. Because I thought there was a couple of moments where I was like, they could have gone better in this. It's particularly one moment that really annoyed me was when James Franco finds out that the supermarket is fake.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, he's like, fucking fake grapefruit, fucking fake. And you're like, this isn't funny. Just get past it. I don't know why that really annoyed me. It was emotional, but like just the way he was going on.
Could be right here.
Did you cry?
You could sense his betrayal. It wasn't. Yeah. He wasn't annoyed at the fruit. He was annoyed at Kim. But you're not watching the same film as me.
I was. I just think I had a different emotional response to you. So
maybe the sound on my TV is better than yours because it was the music as well. It was the score in the background that really gave it the gravitas that it needed. You know.
I think that's probably it. Yeah.
You're probably watching it on your headphones or something with your fucking iPod or whatever way you use fucking kids watch movies these days.
We watched it on the big 55-inch flat screen TV. But you know, fuck the deal.
50 bleeding 5 inches. So yeah, in closing, Mattie gives it a 7 out of 10. I'm gonna go for. Do you know what? I'm gonna go 7 out of 10 as well.
Yeah,
pretty
nice
good.
One.
Not up there with the greats. Pretty good.
No.
Would watch again. Would buy on DVD if I saw it for like 7 or 8 quid.
I'd go for Blu-ray.
Maybe would pay a tenner for it if it had extras. I think only time will tell. Wait for the DVD releases and the Blu-ray releases. Ask us again in a year. See how the public genuinely, because everybody's reaction to this now, it's tempered by the whole fucking news circus behind it. You're not judging it for what it is anymore. You're judging it for let's see why they hate it so much and let's see if it's any good. No, just fucking sit down and enjoy it. And here's the thing, right? When I was watching it, the copy was so bad. At least once a minute, I had to click the back button, which goes back about between 5 and 10 seconds. At least once a minute I had to do that because the sound kept getting out of sync with the picture.
Oh, I fucking hate that.
So you think how annoyed I was doing that, and I was still laughing me fucking arse off.
Yeah.
Imagine if I was sitting there relaxing, getting a blowjob. I'd be fucking thrilled with it.
You would. Yeah, you would. Donna, not so much, but you would have loved it. So, I suppose the last thing to say is thanks very much for watching, guys. And if you see the interview, let us know what you thought about it down below. If you haven't seen the interview, if you want to watch it, watch it.
If you haven't seen the fucking interview, you're a fucking communist.
Yeah.
You don't want subscribers like you.
No, fuck off.
Fuck right off. Yeah.
Bastards.